Earth is a very beautiful place. Behind all the industrialization and modernization, Earth is filled with diverse creatures and inhabitants. Have you seen the beauty of life? Earth is much more worth living than we all thought. However, this beauty is in evident danger at an unprecedented rate. So now let us recognize how our actions can compromise this beauty that we hold.
Biodiversity is all the various style of life that you'll find in one area. The variety of animals, plants, fungi, and even microorganisms that make up our natural world. So every one of those species and organisms work along an ecosystem, like an intricate, to keep up, to take care of balance and life. Ecosystem is a system that includes the interaction of living things with non-living environment. It includes the animal, which are the unit interdependent on each other for survival and can be a diagrammatic by a food change. So example of this is ponds or lakes, our natural stationary fresh ecosystem.
As we continue to make changes to our environment, we endanger not only the wildlife and the marine life, but also our lives as cohabitants of Earth. We have built houses and buildings where forests should be. A change like this could lead to a loss of a life form, and these losses will surely damage our ecosystem and the diversity of life.
Now, we will talk about threats to biodiversity that were identified by the World Health Organization. The first one is habitat loss and destruction. Its major contributing factor is the inhabitation of human beings and the use of land for economic gains. Next, overexploitation. Changing consumption patterns of human is often cited as the main reason why unsustainable exploitation of natural resources happens. Overhunting, overfishing, and overcollecting of species happens until its decline. Third one, pollution and contamination. Contamination is simply the presence of a substance where it should not be. Pollution is contamination that results in adverse biological effects because biological systems react slowly to changes in their surrounding environment. Fourth, alterations in ecosystem composition. Alterations and sudden changes, either within the species groups or within the environment, could begin to change the entire ecosystem. Alterations in ecosystems are a critical factor contributing to species and habitat loss. Last is global climate change. Changing rainfall patterns, extreme weather events, and ocean acidification puts a pressure on species threatened already by human activities. They may be lost permanently if they are not provided with enough time to adapt with the changes.
Even with current technological advancements, we still have a long way to go in learning about the repercussions of biodiversity loss. Ecosystems that are intact work best because the species that make it up influences the ecosystem's productivity, environmental factors, and non-biotic factors. Changes in ecosystem services has an indirect impact on livelihoods, income, local migration, and even political strife. For example, farm production can dwindle, reduce resilience to environmental stresses, variability in ecological processes like plant yield, water use, and even pest and disease increase. Ecosystem services no longer meet social requirements. Biodiversity loss can have substantial direct human effects. Greater knowledge of the Earth's biodiversity leads to significant medicinal and pharmaceutical breakthroughs. Biodiversity loss may restrict the development of new remedies for a variety of diseases and health issues.
Biodiversity is essential for human nutrition because it protects soil productivity and provides genetic resources for all crops. Food production is an ecological function, thus nutrition and biodiversity are linked on numerous levels: ecosystems, species, and genetic variation within species. Additionally, irrigation, fertilizer use, plant protection, and the introduction of crop types and planting patterns all affect biodiversity and hence have an impact on world nutritional status and human health. As a consequence, environmental sensitivity to ill health, habitat simplification, species loss, and species succession frequently increase community vulnerabilities.
Most living things are dependent on their environment to reproduce, especially to live. So the basic needs of living things such as air, water, and habitat are provided by their environment. The evolution of mankind has been due to improve access to these basic needs. Advances in agriculture, sanitation, and water treatment have a far greater impact on human health than on medical technology.
Communities and nations should wisely choose a site for a factory, power plant, a dump waste, or regulating protection to society. With those in mind, a mitigating plan and doable course of actions have to be studied with a purpose to no longer incorporate biodiversity, and at the same time, to promote correct fitness to the society.
Environmental health isn't only about individual well-being, but also community well-being. Our health is influenced by many facets of our surroundings, from the air quality you breathe to the state of the community where your house is built. Environmental hazards can cause vulnerability to different diseases and other aspects of one's health. A wide variety of environmental exposures can impact human health, such as different types of pollution, climate change, unsafe drinking water, secondhand smoke exposure, and more. The health effects of the said hazards can result in respiratory conditions, cardiovascular diseases, gastrointestinal illnesses, vector-related illnesses, and even excess mortality. That's why, as these variables continue to have a negative impact on one's health, environmental health advocacy is a primary priority in the public health area. They inspire communities through outreach to take steps that help conserve their local habitats, protect their family's health, and also support policies that promote environmental stewardship.
So have you seen the current state of our Earth? Biodiversity as we know it is in danger wherein different life forms are at stake. One loss of a life form means greater consequences for us to face. So we must recognize each and every organism that we share our dear planet with in order for us to continue coexisting as a single unit.